Hey guys, Andy back here from Mediocre Hobbies, bringing you more Space Marine goodness. You guys really loved the Raven Guard video that I did. The Blood Raven video that I did for you guys last week. I have literally been replying to comments with you guys with suggestions of what Space Marine chapters I should do in this series. Actually, I have it on a piece of paper there. I really should have it in my hand. Of about 10 or 12 other Space Marine chapters, like unique ones or obscure ones that you guys want to see painted up as a video, and also hear a little bit more about the lore. So one of the ones that was requested 2 or 3 times was one of my personal favorites. It is one that has an absolutely incredible history. I mean incredible. And that is, of course, the Celestial Lions. If you do not know much about the Celestial Lions, hopefully you will learn a little bit more in this video, but I couldn't possibly give you the full scope of their lore in this single video. So I implore you to go out and Google some of their information and have a read for yourself. You will not be disappointed by how badass the Celestial Lions are. They have a very unique color scheme. Not a lot of Space Marine chapters have metallic armor, which is a little bit bizarre, but these guys definitely do. They have beautiful burnished gold armor with blue shoulder pads, blue helmets, and then black detailing for things like their weapon cases and stuff. So that's what I'll try and replicate in today's video. Hopefully you guys are excited to see that. I still have no idea what I should call this series. One where I basically just do a couple of cool Space Marines every now and again and give you a little bit more background and lore about their chapters. So if you have any ideas for a cool name for this series, please do let me know, because I'm kind of at a loss. Okay, without further ado, let's jump in and get this awesome Space Marine started. Okay guys, and as per usual, I'm going to use an Assault Intercessor as the miniature for this painting because I just love them. The open chest, the open order, like, just makes it super easy to show you guys how to paint them and get them done. The color that he is now is I sprayed him Chaos Black, and then I sprayed him Retributor Armor Gold with a can. Now, if you don't have Retributor Armor from a can, that's totally fine. You can just use Retributor Armor from the pot and give him kind of 2 thin coats to get to this stage. And then from there, you just follow all the normal steps that I'm going to show on screen today. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Celestial Lions. And like I said at the beginning, what information I'm going to pass on here is just a drop in the bucket of the lore of this amazing chapter. They are one of my favorites and something that I could absolutely see myself having an entire army of at some point in the future. If not, at least a small company of them to fight alongside my Black Templars. The Celestial Lions is a loyalist successor chapter of the Stoic Imperial Fist, raised in the 38th millennium during an unknown founding, though some Imperial scholars suspect it may have been in the 23rd founding. Following the 25th founding, at some time in the later half of the 40th millennium, the Celestial Lions became part of a triumvirate of Space Marine chapters, which included the Emperor's Spears and the now extinct Star Scorpions. As part of the Adeptus Valari, better known as the Sentinels of the Veil, these 3 chapters were charged with the sacred duty to stand sentinel over the scattered worlds of the region of space known as Elara's Veil. Since its inception, chapter has had a long and glorious history, stretching back over 4,000 Terran years, but events set in motion over 5 solar decades ago during a routine assault on the world of Qatar in 948.M41 nearly proved to be the chapter's undoing in the wake of the Third War for Armageddon, from which less than a company of Celestial Lions emerged intact. Targeted by a faction of the Inquisition to serve as an example for what happens to an Adeptus Astartes chapter that stood against them in Imperial politics, the Celestial Lions survived only due to the intervention of the Black Templars, fellow scions of the Primarch Rogel Dorn. The few surviving Celestial Lions returned to their homeworld of Elysium 9 in Elara's Veil under the command of their new chapter master, Ekne Dubaku, to begin the painstaking process of rebuilding their chapter's numbers back to full strength. Later, after the birth of the Great Rift in the Era Indomitus, the chapter became involved alongside the Emperor's Spears with defending the Veil from an assault by the Great Chaos war host of the Alexarchy. The Alexarchy was under the command of a warband of heretic Astartes called the Pure, who was the Chaos corrupted remnants of the Star Scorpions chapter that had once been part of the Adeptus Valari. Now, I would be more than happy to delve further into their lore, but honestly with these particular guys, I feel like I would be spoiling anything. I basically just gave you a kind of a small synopsis on different parts. Each and every one of those little chunks of information is an entire story, and in some places an entire novel dedicated to their lore and their story. My favorite part of the story is in fact the whole concept that they were nearly wiped out to a man. A giant orc army was basically pressed against them, kind of instigated by the Inquisition, which left the Celestial Lions surrounded and about to be overrun. they asked if the Black Templars would basically be the Space Marine chapter that would witness their doom, because all of their scholars were going to die, all of their remembrances were going to die, so they asked the Black Templars to witness their glorious death, knowing that there was no coming back from the suffering and the losses that they have sustained. Chaplain Grimaldus declined the offer at the last moment and decided to intervene and save the last remnants of the Celestial Lions, protecting them, knowing that their lineage and their chapter needed to be saved for future generations. So he embarked with all of his Black Templars, descended to the planet and fought shoulder to shoulder and back to back with the Celestial Lions, and defeated and drove back the Chaos Incursion, and indeed did save the chapter of Celestial Lions. This is one of my favorite pieces of lore, and there's a beautiful piece of artwork which indicates Chaplain Grimaldus fighting back to back with the Celestial Lions, and these guys have always been kind of intertwined since that day, hence my love for them, since I have a huge Black Templars army, and I would be very keen to add a couple of squads of these guys in and fight alongside them. They're also very interesting because they're an extremely easy chapter of Space Marines to paint. You will notice now that we're only 6 minutes into the video and I basically have a finished Celestial Line Space Marine, which means I could paint up a couple of squads of these models in absolutely no time and have a functioning Space Marine army. Unfortunately, I did not have any Celestial Line transfers like the Raven Guard ones, or the Blood Ravens ones, but I did find a Bretonnian kind of lion transfer that I used, and then the standard tactical symbol on either side, just to finish off the model and give you an idea of what the model would look like completed. I will now have a couple of images of what he looks like on a tabletop, but just please do heed my warning and just try and find some information or some lore. If you've got time and you do enjoy reading, I do thoroughly recommend reading the books based around the Celestial Lions. I don't think it is a waste of your time. I think you will fall in love with this chapter just as much as I will. They're awesome. Each squad is called a pride. Even just that piece of information is awesome. Like I said, I'm really happy with how this guy turned out, and I could definitely see myself painting up another couple of squads, adding to my Black Templars, and playing them as a joined force. Okay guys, and there we have it. My Celestial Line is painted up and is looking pretty sweet. Celestial Lines is definitely a chapter of Space Marines that I can see myself owning a small force of to go alongside my Black Templars. They have a very special bond, those two chapters, and they fight alongside each other, and there's a lot of shared and mutual respect. So I think having a couple of squads of those would be particularly cool. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I do have my list of Space Marine chapters that I'm taking down from the comments section of ones you guys have requested. Some of them are really cool color schemes, but when you look them up, there's actually like no lore. It just says founding unknown, lore unknown, all that kind of stuff. So I can definitely do painting videos on those, but there's nothing much I can say about them as goes chapters. I mean, some of them were even bizarre that I'd never even heard of them. The Yellow Jackets is the one on the top of the list, the Yellow Jackets chapter. I'm really good for knowing Space Marine chapters, and I have never heard of that before, but it does exist. It is real. There is a color scheme for it. Check it out for yourself. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to delve that deep and do those ones, perhaps, but I quite like the lore section, so you guys let me know. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give the video a like. Ask me any question you want in the comments below, or suggest Space Marine chapters that you want to see. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on all future uploads. And if you are interested in supporting the channel and helping me out to grow bigger and stronger, more resources means better videos, then there's links in the description to my Patreon, where you get access to a private Discord server and an extra video every single day where I talk through what I've been doing for the day, and that's where you guys can weigh in on what videos I should do in the future and the direction that the channel should go. So it's a little bit more personal, and it's pretty enjoyable. You guys seem to enjoy those little vlog style videos, so they will continue forevermore. All right guys, thank you so much for sticking around at the end of this video. I hope you did enjoy the Celestial Line. Let me know which video you want to see next. I'll see you in the next one.